Honey cake Spartak with sour cream, one of the varieties familiar to us, the famous honey, but with some changes. This cake will also delight lovers of chocolate desserts. Soaked, tender cakes and fresh sour cream create a wonderful flavor combination loved by many. Take note, the cake is wonderful. Melt butter with honey, 1.5 cups of sugar and salt over low heat. Stir the mixture until the sugar is completely dissolved. In a separate bowl, mix the eggs with soda. Beat the mixture to a light foam. Pour the eggs into the honey oil mixture. Keep stirring all the time. The mixture will start to foam. Remove it from the heat and immediately mix flour and 3 tablespoons of cocoa. The dough is hot, knead it with a spoon. When the dough becomes pleasantly warm, we begin to knead it with our hands. Add flour until the dough stops sticking to your hands. It usually takes about 4.5 cups of flour. Divide the dough into 8 to 10 parts. If you make a large rectangular cake, it is convenient to divide it into 8 cakes. If you make a cake higher and round, then you can make 10 cakes. Meanwhile, add the remaining cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of honey to the homemade fatty sour cream. And set aside the cream. While we bake the cakes, the sugar will dissolve by itself. You can take more sour cream depending on how moist you want the cake. 500 g of sour cream is a minimum, 800 g is a maximum. The cakes are rolled out on baking paper. The paper can be lightly sprinkled with flour. It is not necessary to make smooth cakes. We will need the edges for decoration. The thickness of the cakes can be made from very thin, transparent, to thicker about 2 millimeters. We put the paper with the dough on a baking sheet and put it in a preheated 180-degree oven. Thin cakes are baked very quickly, for a maximum of 5 minutes. It is very convenient while one cake is being baked to roll out the second one on another sheet of paper. We cut the finished cakes as you need. You can cut circles in shape. You can leave the cake rectangular. We collect the edges from the cakes. We grind them in any way into crumbs. Walnuts are also crushed and mixed with crumbs. We mix the cream. The sugar has already dissolved completely in it. We smear all the cakes with cream. Assemble the cake. We leave a little cream to thoroughly lubricate the cake on the sides. The top cake cannot be smeared with cream, but completely filled with chocolate glaze. But I also miss the top cake, so the cake turns out to be more saturated. Sprinkle the cake with crumbs from all sides. To prepare the chocolate glaze, mix 4 tablespoons of sugar, 0.5 tablespoons of cocoa, and 2.5 tablespoons of milk. Mix. Over low heat, bring the mixture to the dissolution of sugar. As soon as the glaze boils, remove it from the heat and cool it a little. Randomly distribute the glaze over the crumbs. Glazes, nuts, cocoa can be used more. It is optional. You can also decorate the finished cake with grated chocolate. We put the cake in the refrigerator for at least a few hours, and preferably overnight. When the cake is well soaked, it is tastier and more tender. A delicate, soft, moderately sweet cake. Have a nice tea party.